All right, welcome back, Long Beach. It was not that long ago we were here, but it is going to be a very different track. We'll talk about that in a second. If you did have this setup saved, I don't believe there's a whole heck of a lot different. If you are new to this one, we'll just go through it here real quick. Uh, Ride height 29 mils in the front. It is not as low as it goes. There are some curbs to be going over here, and yeah, so you don't want it too low. ARB is 0, of course. We don't want that extra understeer. If you are new to this track, it is a little tricky to learn. You are not going to learn this in a little practice session before the race. So do put some time in here. If you are losing the back end, if you're struggling on this track, you may want to actually turn that up one notch. That will make the rear a lot more compliant, a lot steadier while you are learning the track. However, once you do get comfortable on this track, you definitely want to change that back to 0. Damper compression 18, softened up a little bit. We are going over some curbs, so it is just a little softer to make them a little less disruptive. Brake bias 57% for me. For you, it's something different, but probably a little bit on the higher side. Um, it's not a lot of slope here, but there are some downhill braking sections, and they will catch you out. So the brake bias is turned up a little bit. Spring rates, low as they go, front and rear. You know my channel. If you don't know my channel, it's usually asymmetrical. Um, not too asymmetrical for this one. 2.4 on the left camber, 2.3 on the right. Go with the higher value if you want to keep them the same. Yeah, but they are turned up. Lots of hard corners here. 1.5 toe in. That is just to improve the brake and get some temperature into the tires and to get that turn in better as well. There's some very tight corners here, probably one of the most awkward corners in racing. Spring rates again, low as they go in the rear. Camber is turned up. Lots of high speed corners and all that stuff. We're really loading up the tires. So 1.5 on each side. The iRacing does not like that, but it does pass the test. Zero point 0.3 toe in. Yeah, again, just to get some temperature into the tires and help with braking. Ride height in the rear 40 mils. It is cranked up a fair bit more than the front. That is to increase the rake to get the car rotating a little bit more, because if you see here, it is 10 ARB. Very easy to lose your back end on this track. So the ARB is turned down, but the rake is increased, the ride height is increased in the rear. That is just to give it a little bit more rotation. So it does rotate a little bit more, but not as bad as if you have the ARB at 20. And damper compression 4, softened up a little bit. There is a lot of corners here where you can spin up the tires if you stomp on the throttle. So watch out for that. Be a little gentle on the throttle here through some of these corners, and this just helps transfer the weight. So those tires are a little less likely to spin up. Fuel levels, 13 liters for me. I am a little lighter on fuel usage, but 13 should get you around the track without too much trouble. But if you are sweating your fuel, 14 is definitely going to do it. Gear stack tall. Yep, standard isn't going to do it here. You're going to reach the rev limit in the start finish straight halfway through it. So got to go tall. Very tall is probably just a little overkill. Yeah, yeah. You're not going to get anywhere near the rev limit with a very tall stack. So we'll go into this track is 27 degrees, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Last time out here it was in the 50s. It is 27 degrees. That is a lot more grip on track. It is going to feel much nicer than the last time the Ray was here. 35% usage as usual. And whoops, we're going to look at a 125.8. So I'm starting this before the turn one. Just this section here can catch some people out. Watch out if you are really tight up against the wall here. There are some ruts, I guess you'd call it, in the pavement here, and they will actually pull your car into that wall. You're not going to crash and die, but you will scrape the wall. You will scrub some speed. So watch out that the tighter you are here, you can get pulled into that wall in a few sections. So watch out for that. So coming into turn one, looking for the 400 board. Yes, you can brake later, but you are going to be sacrificing speed on exits. So if you're fighting for the corner, for sure you can brake later, but this is the faster way to do it. Watch this blue line. I believe it's this blue line. If you cross over that blue line, you are going to get a slowdown, and it is painful. So braking hard, shifting down into second gear, looking for kind of just before the 100 board turning in. You do want to turn in here a bit earlier than you think, because you do want to get onto this curb, not on the real slope of it here. That is a bit disruptive, but on the flat section here, you definitely want to be on there and releasing the brakes, picking up the throttle before the apex. If you are on the brakes, you are going to be sliding right now. You are going to be running wide. You're going to understeer, and you're going to go into that wall. So you actually, it sounds the opposite of what you should be doing, staring at that wall coming at you rather quickly, but you want to be on throttle. That is going to get the car under control. So just a little lift there and picking it up again. I was coming in a little hot, and then just right up tight against that wall. And then you're looking for the white line here. I think this is a crosswalk in other conditions. Um, just before that white line, hard on the brakes. Yes, again, you can brake later, but you will sacrifice speed. Hard on the brakes, down into first, and watch out for this one. Releasing the brakes. If you are still hard on the brakes coming around this corner, you are going to be spinning out and getting onto the curb. You don't want to get up elevated onto this ridge here, this slope. Again, that's going to disrupt the car, but right in the flat spot here of the curb. And again, picking up the throttle. If you are braking through there, you are going to be spinning out. And just as close as you dare to that wall, and then get yourself over to the left as quick as you can. Now, yeah, the track is much cooler. I would normally, when it was so hot, I would be shifting down into first, but now it's just a lift in second, and again picking up the throttle before the apex here, and again on the flat part of the curb, not on the raised section. And picking up the throttle, again, get as close as you can to this wall, and then this light section of the barrier, just as you pass it, uh, shifting down into second, and then good blast of brakes, real short, and then again picking up the throttle before the apex. Now, it is very important. This wall is going to catch you if you are new to this track. It is very easy to spin out through that one and hit the wall. As you see, it's what you want to do. The track is bumpy here, but you want to have the car rotated. You do not want to be hitting the apex with the car pointed, at the more to the left here. You want the car already to be almost turned at the apex. That way you are going to pick up the throttle and be able to turn the car and keep it out of the wall. If you come around that and the car's pointed at the wall, there's just no way to turn. It is downhill. It is a fast corner. You are going to hit that wall. So have the car rotated by the exit or by the apex, and then that is going to help you get through that section fast and without crashing. And then just working your way up the gears. Looking for the 200 board. Just as you kind of hit it, again, you can brake later, but you're going to sacrifice speed. Hard on the brakes, very hard on the brakes, down into second. Again, I think when it was 50, I would do this in first, but it is second now. And then as close as you can to the wall, and again picking up the throttle before the apex really is important. This is a big stretch of straight here. You do not want to be late on the throttle, and then again just unwinding the wheel gently, but working your way back over to the left. You do have to be way over to the left here to open this one up. Again, looking for the 200 board, getting on the brakes, big blast of brakes, but releasing the brakes quickly. You want to brake here quickly, get the car slowed, and then again picking up the throttle before the apex. And yes, you can cut this corner. You can get all four tires in here. There is no slowdown. There is no X. That curb really doesn't even make sense why it's there. And tight up against that wall. And again, you have to be on throttle in order to control the car to keep out of that wall. If you are on the brakes, you are going to slide into that wall. And then just working your way up the gears. Big battle for this corner for sure. Lots of fighting here. Looking for the 300 board. Just before the 300 board, again, if you brake later, yes, you can make it, but it is not faster. So good blast of brakes down into second, releasing the brakes as you turn in and getting on to the red and white curb, but not these rumble strips. They are pretty disruptive. I think they updated the track a while back, and those rumble strips are very disruptive. And then just working your way back sort of mid-track, and as you get underneath the bridge here, just releasing the throttle. Don't really need brakes, maybe on cold tires, maybe just a smidge of brakes. Second gear, letting the car roll in. You can catch these rumble strips a little bit, just be careful. If you go over them, they are going to hook your tire and you are dead. You are dead. And then just picking up the throttle, not stomping on it, but just being gingerly with the throttle. And as you come around the corner, shifting down into first, and again opening this up as much as you can. The most awkward corner there is, getting onto the rumble strips again, but not over them. They will hook your tire. And hard on the brakes, very hard on the brakes. And then coming in tight against that barrier and picking up the throttle nice and early. Very important for this corner to pick up the throttle nice and early, because this is the big straight, and if you mess that corner up, if the people behind you do not mess it up, they are going to eat your lunch. They are going to come after you and have a tremendous amount of speed over you. So that is a 125.8. And yeah, good luck out there. I'll run this out at full speed, and we'll see you next time.